he'll fit in well with the guys that we have here. Obviously, Joe Webb, Mike Tolbert, and Leonard Johnson know him personally, and then some of the coaches. But he'll fit in. He's a tough, he's a blue collar kid. He'll fit this town very well.
How familiar? I mean, you're obviously familiar with Kelvin. It seemed that with his mother passing this summer, and Ron Rivera, I think, accused him of being out of shape at training camp. I mean, what you weren't there, but what concerns do you have about where his mind may be at this point, given that he got up to, he looked like he was ready for a big start and he's been kind of inconsistent.
Yeah, I can't speak on, if he's been inconsistent or not, or, what's going on in Carolina this year, but I know who the person is, and I know, the guys in the locker room are like him. He's, as I said, he's tough, he's big, he's got great hands, he knows how to run routes, he's obviously, he can block, he's going to be way bigger than most of the corners he faces, so he can help you in the run game there. And, he'll fit this locker room. The coaches are like him, the players are like him. It's a win for the Buffalo Bills.
Would he be ready? What do you see him adding to this receiving group, as far as and does it address what's been lacking?
Size and experience. Excellent hands. I mean, when he's covered, he's still open. And that's if you watch a lot of his catches, he's outsizing. He's not a speed guy, but this guy's 6'5" plus, 240. So he's bigger than most, and like I said, he'll win the contested balls, and he's a very strong player.
Do you expect him to play Thursday night against the Jets? Is he ready to do that? Is that the plan?
I don't know. That'll be up to Sean and Coach Dennison to decide where he would be. So that'd be a better question for them.
Brandon, when you picked him at Carolina at number 28, did you feel that you had gotten a steal at that number, or is he pretty much slotted in there and that was the guy on your board?
Yeah, no, we had he was the highest rated player on our board at the time. We had him the middle of the first round value before we got him, so we thought it was a great value when we got him the first.
There were reports that you were involved in talks with the Steelers for Martavis Bryant. How true is that?
I was involved with talks. A lot of people over the last week, back when we moved Marcel. So I don't really want to get into who we talked to and who we did.
Was receiver and addressing that position a priority, your top priority going into this trading deadline?
I was looking at any area that would help us. I honestly was. Receiver was definitely one of probably the highlighted areas, but any position that would have helped us and made sense for us, again, to win today and win tomorrow, we would have made the move.
Brandon, not to get too far down the line here, but with respect to the fifth-year option, do you guys kind of have to ride that out as you inherit that and then talk contract in terms of successive years after that year is up, or can you address the fifth-year option and renegotiate it? Is that within your parameters? Yeah,
you can. Yeah, once we obtain this contract, we can renegotiate at any point to extend it, if we choose to do so.
And so, right now you have that fifth-year option.
Yeah, we get the fifth-year option by trading for that.
Guaranteed only against injury.
Yes. Yes.
Brandon, how much of your philosophy might have changed by being 5-2? Because you've been about really strengthening the draft picks and things like that. You've traded away 6 players since, a little before you got here, that started. Now you're 5-2, you bring a player like this in. Did you have to alter your philosophy because maybe you saw, you know what, we have a chance to make a run at this thing?
Well, you take every year in its own, if you're 0-7, I'm not sure you're giving away a pick. So each year, is a different year. It's a different season. No matter what all the prognosticators have out there, I've been a part of teams that were predicted to go to the Super Bowl, and we went 6-10. Those aren't the years you try and make a move that's out there necessarily, at the trade deadline. So again, years, where you start like this, and you're always looking to help yourself win now and win in the future. And I honestly think that's what this does.
Can you clarify, the 7th round pick you gave up, is that the one you got for the Cardale Jones deal?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Brandon, when it comes to the message, though, that it sends to that locker room, given the fact that, you know, they're all getting over the trade of Marcel, when you add a player such as this, when you add talent, I mean, LaShawn McCoy tweeted, what a great trick-or-treat Halloween deal. When you add, what message do you think and believe that it sends to this locker room at 5-2 going forward?
Well, probably saves me from getting my tail kicked walking in there. Those guys are probably getting tired of me, you know, moving guys and not bringing anything in. And again, you have to wait for the right time. And I promise you, you know, and I've talked to some of the guys, we're always looking to add, but it has to be right, and the timing was right for this move for Kelvin.
Brandon, what is your philosophy now that you gave up those picks? You still have before week 10 to cut a few players and, you know, factor into the compensatory pick formula. Will this change your thinking there?
Nah, we're really just focused on, you know, beating the Jets right now and then, you know, winning each week. That's where we're at.
Brandon, did you have an opportunity to talk to Kelvin yet on the phone, and if so, what was his reaction?
Yeah, you know, Sean and I spoke to him together on the phone. You know, it took us a little bit because his agent and Carolina had to get a hold of him and get him on a flight, or schedule a flight for up here. But he seemed very happy, excited. Obviously, he knows, you know, Sean, and he knows me as well, and some of the guys that I mentioned from Carolina. So, he seemed very excited. We just, you know, we just framed it as, hey, here's a nice fresh start. You come in here, we're 5-2, and you know, jump right in. You know, we'll again, that'll be up to the coaches how quick we get him, you know, onto the field.
And you said you got him on a flight. Do you know about when he's supposed to get in?
I don't know. I don't know. I know it's today, but I don't know if it's 11 or midnight or 2.
Brandon, can you sense, even before this deal was made, the hype and the wave that this fan base is riding right now after this 5-2 start?
Yeah, you know, it's fun on you know, on game day. You know, 4-0, you always want to defend, you know, defend your dirt, defend the turf. You know, what Sean and our players have been talking about this whole year. And you know, there's no better feeling than walking out of there on all these Sundays with a victory and just watching people so excited and fired up. And me talking about it right now sends chills up my spine. I mean, you just you want to, you know, you want to win every game, but you definitely want to win all 8 of these at home. So it's exciting to see that, and hopefully it's exciting to hear the energy.
Brandon, how have you handled the research when it comes to Kelvin's knee? The Charlotte Observer report says that 2 weeks ago he left practice early, saying Benjamin, was frustrated about his knee injury. So do you have obviously the medical review when he gets here, the exam?
Yeah, I mean, every trade's pending a physical, so we would make sure he's healthy to go. Carolina has assured us that his knee's fine. He's played in every game. He left the New Orleans game is when he injured the knee, got that back. He left that game and did not come back, but he's played every week, and so obviously we would have to make sure he's healthy once he arrives.
Were you aware of that practice thing, though, that he said that he supposedly was frustrated he left a practice early because of it?
I had heard, you know, I hadn't heard the frustration, but I had heard he left the practice, yes.
Just to kind of tie up a loose end with Anquan, where things stand now that he wasn't traded and he's still in reserve retired.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he'll just stay retired, I think.
Brandon, is the second trade you made with Carolina player trade? Obviously, they're killing. At that time, was there any other discussions around it? Like, hey, maybe we'll talk down the road, you know, if Kelvin's name brought up, or are those completely separate things?
Completely separate.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.